And it's Thursday, back with an overhead press. Weight went up in 2 pounds. Reps went down the beginning, but went up at the end. So overall, about the same on the reps, with an increase of 2 pounds on the weight. So feeling pretty good. I call that progress. Overall, the exercise felt pretty good today. You can see two cans in the bag there. I have a can of tomatoes and a can of beans. They're about 2 pounds and a pound each. So it's feeling pretty good. The form looks pretty good too. Racking it up. But after the overhead press standing, we're gonna go right to the seated version. So when you're seated, you don't need any of the stabilization muscles as you do when you're doing a standing version. So it allows you to kind of support yourself from the bench and focus more on the shoulders and the pressing. So I went up a little bit in weight here, which I'm glad I did, because I think I'm still able to hit 5 or 6 reps on this, and they all felt pretty good too. So I think I'm gonna keep this going forward, and uh, we'll just keep progressing on that one. Hopefully, pretty decent progress. But after doing the weighted barbell presses, we're gonna do some pike presses here for the elevated position. We're gonna use the couch there to elevate our feet, and then we're gonna use the stools to increase our range of motion at the bottom. The one thing to just keep in mind is to try to keep your forearms perpendicular to the ground as best you can. That's one of the form notes that I've tried to pay attention to, and I think in the past few weeks it's definitely looked better than when I first started. So that looks pretty decent. Last rep was kind of shaky, but I was just kind of trying to force it out and get that last one in. So not too bad. From there, we're gonna go right to some face pulls. Love face pulls. They're a great kind of rear, shoulder, and back exercise. Just make sure you're pulling from a position above your head, and you're trying to lead with your wrists instead of your elbows. That's going to really help you focus on the back and the rear delts. So from there, we're going to do some dumbbell work. I go for about a minute on each of these exercises, so nothing too intense, but we've already done the kind of bigger compound lift, so we're not really looking for some super heavyweight exercise. We're just looking to do some more isolated dumbbell work. So that's going to be lower weights than you might be used to, but don't try to just shoot for high weights. Get quality reps, and I suspect you'll probably be doing around a similar rep range. Like if you do 20 or 30 pounds on this, that'd be really impressive. So I hang the dumbbells off of one another to get some extra weight on, but then I drop down as I need. So here I'm doing 2 hands at a time, just because I'm a little bit lazy. One other way I've seen people do it is to kind of hold something and kind of lean over to increase the range of motion. So that's another variety that you can add if you have the interest. I might add that in the future, but we'll see. Here we're doing some W raises just to hit the rear delts a little bit. The weight's okay by itself, but the way that I have it on there is kind of when I get to the elevated position, it starts to slide down and kind of really rub against my fingers pretty roughly. So that's not great. But I don't have any 15-pound dumbbells, so unfortunately it's what I have to work with. So I'll make do. But then we drop the weight and do a few more when we can no longer go at the higher weight. And then for the next one, we're going to do some front raises. I already know that I can't do 15 pounds when it's so unstable with one dumbbell hanging off another from the last few weeks I tried it, so I'm just going to go straight for the 10 pounds by themselves. I'm actually not quite sure if there's a difference between doing this this like straight grip versus that horizontal grip. uh, I don't think there's a huge difference. Like, I think if you do the exercise, you're gonna get the bulk of the benefit. So I wouldn't worry about it too much. But it's just a thought that crossed my mind, so I just decided to kind of switch it up halfway through this exercise. But I go ahead and do a few more reps with the 5 pounds, just because I haven't hit the minute timer yet. So that's the benefit of having a timer for any given exercise. You might crank out a few extra reps you wouldn't have gotten otherwise. But after that, we're going to do some reverse flies, almost like a reverse pec deck type motion, where we bring the dumbbell to our knees about, and then we're just kind of swinging back. I say swing, but try to limit the momentum on this. Of course, you want to control the dumbbell through the range of motion like you do any other weight. But this one, I don't know, I'm torn on it, honestly. It feels pretty good when I'm doing it. Like, it's not, I just don't know if I'm getting far back enough on this exercise. I don't really have a great context for comparison. So I'm gonna give it a shot for a few extra weeks, but overall it's not an exercise that I'm super in love with just at the moment. But from there, we're gonna go ahead and do our core workout. We're gonna do our kneeling resistance band pull down. I've definitely felt some progress on this. I'm able to hold that position with my elbows to the ground for a split second with all 3 of these bands, which isn't something I was able to do a few weeks ago. So that's another point of progress there. We'll look to improve the difficulty on this exercise a bit moving forward, either by changing up the band configuration or maybe just pulling it out a little bit more. I'm not quite sure what I'll do yet, because right now it transitions really nicely from the 3 bands on the top to the 1 band on the bottom when I go to do the kneeling pull-off press here. So I like to keep that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna pull the band out a little bit more to increase the resistance. I might need to mark where that mat goes on the floor, but we'll see. It's kind of a minor thing towards the end of my workout, so I'm not super driven to find a change. That's just it's still working very well right now. But the kneeling pull-off presses look good this week. I think the form is really important for this exercise, and the form looks pretty good throughout and felt pretty good too. So no big complaints there. We just want to keep our head up, shoulders back, chest out, and push straight out with our arms extended, without going side to side or up and down. So on Thursday, I like to do a little bit of shoulder depression work as well, where I just try to push off the floor a little bit. I try to keep my legs straight, push my butt off the floor. So it's a pretty difficult position, but it's definitely felt a lot better since I first started a few months ago. So definitely some progress there, and we'll just keep at it and see where we end up in a few weeks. I don't have any specific goals on this, but this combined with the L-sit leg raises are 2 components of the L-sit. So maybe in 2021. But that's gonna wrap up another day. Coming in Friday here soon, so I appreciate you guys tuning in. Subscribe to get your daily reminder for workout. But otherwise, I will see you guys next time. Appreciate it. Thanks.